If you've been watching Palantir's stock recently, you know it's been an emotional roller coaster. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the crazy ups and downs of Palantir stock and whether the ride is coming to an end. Spoiler alert, the answer isn't as clear-cut as you might think. So, Palantir has been one of the most talked about stocks in the last few years. But the returns? Well, let's just say they haven't been quite as smooth as a Tesla autopilot. Palantir has been flying high, but with plenty of turbulence. In 2021, the stock dipped by 23%, which definitely left some investors clutching their pearls. It felt like Palantir might be on a downward spiral, especially with the broader market showing some steadiness. Then came 2022, and it was a disaster, a 65% drop. Ouch. If you're holding Palantir stock at this point, you're probably wondering if you should have bought a boat instead of more shares. But then, boom, 2023 hit, and Palantir shot up by a mind-blowing 167%. Suddenly, those losses from the past 2 years felt like a distant memory. Fast forward to 2024, and Palantir is on fire with a 340% gain. That's not just a rebound, it's a rocket launch. Now, here's where things get a little tricky. Just when you thought everything was smooth sailing, we get some curveballs. Fed officials, the people in charge of our economy, are now getting nervous about the inflation impact from the Trump administration's policies. Yep, inflation. It's that pesky thing that makes everything cost more, like your morning tea or that avocado toast. And guess what? On Friday, the market had possibly its worst day of 2025. The S&P 500 dropped by 1.7% in a single day. That's not a meh day, that's a whoa, this is actually bad day. Among the affected stocks, Palantir, which dropped a staggering around 14%. Ouch, right? But hold on, before you start thinking this is the end of the line, let's talk about what's happening here and why this kind of thing happens more often than you'd think. What's a stock market crash? First off, let's define the stock market crash. When you hear people talk about a crash, they're usually referring to a steep, rapid decline in stock prices across the market. It's not just a little dip, we're talking about big losses that hit almost every stock, causing panic selling. Remember, this is normal. The market is like that one friend who can't decide between staying calm and flipping tables. It's unpredictable. In fact, stock market crashes have been happening for centuries. The famous 1929 Great Depression. That was a crash. The 2008 financial crisis. Another massive crash. The stock market goes up and down all the time, and even the best companies experience these wild swings. What does a 1.7% drop mean for stocks like Palantir? Now, let's break down what happened on that 1.7% drop in the S&P 500. A decline of 1.7% in the market on a single day is a big deal, but not the end of the world. It's like being on a roller coaster that dips a little lower than you expected. Not fun, but it's not a catastrophe either. The S&P 500 represents the performance of 500 major U.S. companies, so when it drops, it means a lot of stocks, like Palantir, are feeling the burn. In fact, Palantir dropped 14% on that same day. 14%. That's not a blip, that's a full-on drop that got a lot of people nervous. But here's the deal, drops like this are common. Investors get skittish, and fear can spread like wildfire. But if you're a long-term investor, don't panic. Why? Because these drops are part of the stock market's DNA. Over the course of time, stocks generally go up, even if there are plenty of bumps along the way. That's the beauty of long-term investing. It's not about short-term dips, it's about the overall upward trend. Think of it like this, if you're driving down a highway, a little detour here and there doesn't mean you've lost your way. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you've commented, let's continue. But wait. Please support us by becoming a member of our channel. If you are interested in learning how to invest in stocks, join our Super Builders team. Of course, putting into consideration many factors, you can learn the gist of how to invest and spot successful stocks. Join us today before you could lose out on amazing opportunities. Do you want to start making money by becoming a better long-term investor? Start now. Is a recession coming? Okay, let's talk about the scary word that possibly everyone's whispering: recession. A recession is when the economy shrinks for a period of time, usually 2 straight quarters of negative GDP growth. This leads to job losses, less spending, and just a whole lot of economic discomfort. The big question possibly on everyone's mind, is one coming? Economists are possibly divided. Some say we're in for a downturn, thanks to a mix of inflation, government policies, and other unknowns. Others are less certain. But here's the thing, nobody knows for sure. A recession can come out of nowhere, or it can be a slow burn. The uncertainty surrounding the Trump administration's policies is also playing a role. Whether or not the president's actions will lead to a recession is still up for debate. The market hates uncertainty, so when that comes into play, expect volatility. It's like driving on a foggy road. You can't see far ahead, and it's tough to tell what's around the corner. What should investors do? Now for the million-dollar question: what should you do as an investor? Well, it depends. If you're in it for the short term and you're getting nervous about these fluctuations, it might be a good idea to take some profits off the table or at least hedge your bets. You know, like getting a seatbelt on that roller coaster ride. However, if you're a long-term investor, and let's be honest, that's the sweet spot for most of us, don't sweat the daily ups and downs. The stock market has a long history of bouncing back from crashes and dips. For example, after the 2008 financial crisis, the stock market rebounded like a champion, and investors who stayed in the game came out ahead. So, take a deep breath and remember, the market isn't going to disappear. It's full of opportunities, especially if you're patient. Maybe instead of panicking, this is the time to buy the dip. But always make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, don't buy based on emotion. Instead, buy based on the fundamentals of the companies you're invested in. Does Palantir have solid long-term growth potential? Yeah, it does. Is it the right time to panic? Nah. To wrap this up, the market is volatile, and Palantir's stock is definitely no stranger to the ups and downs. But this is exactly why long-term investing is all about staying calm and having a plan. So, if you're asking, is this the end of the run for Palantir? Well, it could be a little break or it could be a bump in the road before the next big climb. The truth is, stock market crashes are a part of the game, and while they can be painful, they're also often followed by recovery. Stay focused on the long-term picture, and remember, these drops happen to almost every stock. It's part of the journey. So, stay cool, be smart, and hold on to your seats. Whether you're holding Palantir or any other stock, remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. A stock market crash isn't something you see every day, but it's not as rare as a blue moon either. A crash typically happens when a bunch of stocks drop at the same time, and investors panic. It's like everyone at a concert suddenly trying to rush the stage, chaos. If you see headlines screaming about crashes, they can be pretty scary. But let's break it down a bit. In reality, a stock market crash usually triggers a lot of emotional reactions. Investors feel like their money is vanishing, the news is full of doom and gloom, and people start doubting everything. It's like suddenly being told the ice cream truck is sold out of your favorite flavor, totally devastating, but you'll survive. But here's the thing, crashes are actually pretty normal in the grand scheme of things. They're like the inevitable potholes on a highway. Yes, they hurt when you hit them, but they don't stop the car from moving. Markets bounce back over time. So, if you're a long-term investor, don't panic just because the stock drops a little bit. Take a deep breath, and maybe put down the chocolate bar. You've got this. So, is Palantir in trouble? Maybe not. It's our privilege that God, the creator of heaven and earth, will bless us abundantly, make us the head and not the tail if we love him and obey his commandments. Please acknowledge him in your plans and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Want more information? Please check the description section. Also again, I invite you to join our wealth building teams and Super Wealth Builders community and support us by becoming a member. We highly appreciate your commitment. Don't miss. Waiting and excited to see you join us. Learn and enjoy the journey to building lasting wealth through smart investing. Join us today and you will make smarter choices and build lasting wealth. Alright, beloved friends, that's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. There are 3 more important steps to build wealth. First, like this video, subscribe and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you highly motivate me to continue bringing to you educative and transformative videos every week. Do not miss out on our future videos full of knowledge and wisdom. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support is appreciated so much. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts about today's video. Thank you. See you in the next video by God's grace. We love you, and blessings to you.